Hello and welcome to Click, Brand and Beyond podcast. I'm Anoop.
And I'm Nisha Prakash.
At Click, Brand and Beyond, we break down marketing and brand building into easily digestible nuggets from business founders. We teach you how to use the latest technology and trends to grow your business. Let's get started.
Hi Anoop.
Hello, Nisha. How are you and what's happening?
Well, a lot is happening, but I'm good. I'm well, thriving, blessed, all of those things. And recently had a very intriguing case of copycat. So one of my clients on Instagram, they want us to copy the exact way their competitor is building their content. And I personally don't agree with it because I think they will lose their own brand voice, their own identity, but they are enamored with what their competitor is doing. And they just want to kind of follow the lead. And this is a phenomenon that I've seen with a lot of young brands. They just want to copy their competitors. So I don't know.
I
I, I
have to
I would like to
disagree
call
with
it
you there. It's not
copycat
just
syndrome.
young, it's not young brands. In fact, the older brands do it more than the younger brands do. We'll come to that definitely. But what's your solution for this client of yours?
I'm honestly I'm still figuring it out, and it's not a very easy situation for my clients. I mean, see, the sales are down. That is the truth. While it seems that the competitor is thriving, so I mean, one thing is to definitely sit down with the client and unpack why they feel the need to copy. And the other thing is, I would like to understand this myself a little bit better so that when I sit down on the table to discuss, I am armed with the right kind of approach and hopefully find a way where we are able to hold on to our brand's unique identity and create a win-win solution for the client. While we are inspired by the everything that is happening around us, we still do our own thing.
I think this is a question that is going to exist as long as businesses exist. And there's a reason for that. There's a very good reason why that happens too. I call it target fixation. We see this in traffic accidents, incidentally, right? And okay, there's brand and there's traffic accident, but the human mind works very similarly across, right? When you're looking at your competitors, what are you doing? You're fixating on how those people are performing. Because frankly speaking, if you keep looking at your clients, you keep looking at your charts, there is very little data, there's very little comparison, there's very little easy things you can do. But it's very easy to look at the competitor's website, what they are doing. Oh, they held an event there. Oh, they invited that celebrity. It's very easy to get fixated on that. And when road accidents happen, typically what is noticed is the person who got into the accident got fixated with something on the side of the road or in the middle of the road, rather than looking at the road. That's why they keep saying, right, eyes on the road. Rather than looking at the road, they got distracted. They looked at something shiny on the side or some truck or something parked on the highway. And because you're targeted there, you're fixated there, your body reacts and you go and, you know, well, let's say bump into it. If it's a slow this thing, most of the times you crash into something. And that's what happens even in business. You're all racing, right? You're all competing. And you get fixated with your competitors because they're supposedly doing something interesting and unique. But the problem here is the perspective is yours. The perspective is yours. You're not a consumer of your own business. You should be, but it's rare that you're a consumer of your own business, right? You're running the business. Your focus should be on the road. And the road in this case is the customer preference, the target clients. Very, very difficult to do that when there's so much noise all around. So when
That
you're
is true.
fixated with your competitors, this happens. They are doing something. Why are we not doing something? So it's FOMO, fear of missing out. Maybe they have found the secret to succeed in this market, in this particular business model, in this particular industry. and I am being left behind because I am not doing enough. I'm not doing what they are doing. But the fact of the matter is, everybody's blind, everybody's trying to figure things out. Maybe somebody will encounter something by accident, it is not by design. You go and do 10 different things, and I'm sure one of them will work for you too. The
That's true.
challenge is convincing yourself that you can take that risk, that unique risk that others are not taking.
I really like this idea. First of all, I love this term. What was that again?
Target fixation.
Target fixation. But Anoop, I also feel there are a couple of other reasons, and the first and the foremost is the time and resource constraint. Because it is very tempting to take shortcuts by borrowing ideas when when the organization is stretched thin. They do not have enough manpower, or possibly do not even have enough money or resources. So it's very easy to copy whatever is happening or existing right now. And the one more thing that I think is misunderstanding of the best practices. They think they are following the industry standards by copying their competitors because everybody else is doing it. So, or maybe that's how it is done in this industry. But however, they fail to realize that. That it's not an industry norm. Possibly the important thing is to push the envelope a little bit more, and there is some kind of sort of creative or intellectual laziness that kind of creeps in because it seems to be working for the competitor. So if it's working for somebody else, the assumption that it'll also work for me is always there. So these are two other things that I can actually think of, and honestly, on a very psychological level, this the fear of standing out. Whilst everybody is trying very hard to stand out from the crowd, they still want to kind of be similar or the same. So the more they try to change, more similar they are. Fear of standing out and doing their own thing is a risk that a very few businesses really want to take, and hence the copycat syndrome. And I remember you were talking about the tech companies, and there was a very interesting conversation we had. And I think it's a very relevant conversation. You were talking about how all these tech companies say the similar kind of thing, Anoop. And do you want
A few
to
minutes
just
ago, when you were mentioning small companies, I said no, not just small companies, even big companies face this. And let me take example of IT services companies in India, because fairly large industry in India, right? And there are behemoths here. There are multi-billion-dollar companies in this sector in India. Some of the largest employers in India, in fact, are IT services companies. So, just as an exercise, while you were speaking, I kind of opened a few prominent brands in the IT services industry and their websites. And I'm not going to mention any names, but let's see if the audience can guess which brand is which. And frankly, let us see if you can distinguish if one brand is different from another one. One of the biggest brands says, "We bring you powerful advantages to navigate your digital transformation." That's what they say, right? And their purpose is to amplify human potential and create the next opportunities for people, business, and communities. Whatever that means, it's I have no idea what that means, right? Another company talks about transform your business with advanced technologies. By the way, this is an IT company, right? They are not into advanced technology creation or anything like that, and that's what they say. So if you actually go to their page which says what they do, they are here to make a difference through technology, leading the way in innovation for over 55 years. We build great futures for businesses across multiple industries and countries. Frankly, not innovative at all. I will never confuse this particular company with an innovative company. I don't have a single example of any kind of innovation they have done in any sector. So, okay, that's another one. Yet another one. We are a new kind of technology consulting company. We help businesses transform from core to experience to thrive in marketplace of the future. What is a marketplace of the future? With a unique blend of the engineering DNA with experience DNA, we help businesses get to the future faster. How? Time moves at the same pace for everybody. I hope they have not invented a time machine, but here is yet another one, right? Um, Scale at speed. Our promise to help enterprises across industries transform at speed and bring agility, resilience, and efficiency to their business. They missed out the word productivity there. I think that's the only word missing, but it's a word salad. Means nothing, right? And they say we offer a wide range of digital solutions and best in class platforms to deliver meaningful outcomes, enhance customer experience, and transform industries at scale with unparalleled speed. Nothing they do is different from what other companies do. In fact, I suspect if you were to slap the, or stick the logo of one company on another company's website, nobody will be able to distinguish what is different about them. There is nothing
Yeah.
different about them. And this happens across industries, by the way. As companies become larger, they enter other areas. Like an Amazon started with books, but they have expanded to everything, right? They are the e-commerce behemoth, but they have a distinction. They are technology company. They in the consumer sector, they are the e-commerce leaders. But when you take other companies in services industry, there is nothing distinguishing them because they keep expanding from sector to sector, business to business, and their message, their brand gets diluted. It's all the same.
True, and because of this, I think most of the businesses, they lose their sense of brand identity. The messages are blending in with everyone else, and the essence of what will make your brand special or your company special is lost. And I think it becomes very hard for the customers to form a connection with the business then. And which also means that there is a reduced customer loyalty.
Let me give you another example, probably, right? Again, big sector, cars, four wheelers, consumer products, right? I mean, we all drive cars. But car companies have been very smart about distinguishing themselves from the competition. You have fast cars, medium cars, premium cars, luxury cars, safe cars, affordable cars, my first car, the car for the rich and the famous, bespoke cars, handmade cars. So you have so many distinct segments. And when you say these phrases, fast car, etc., there are certain brands that come to mind. And depends on which country you are in, the brands change. But it's very easy for the car brands to associate themselves with these phrases in the customer's mind. Why are services companies unable to do that? Why are enterprise companies unable to do that? Why are even consumer product companies, many sectors are unable to do that? Let's take an example: furniture brands. IKEA is a prominent brand, but in India it does not work. We are a very value conscious country. But who's a furniture brand in India? You have a lot of local brands. If you walk down certain streets, there are a lot of furniture shops. You won't remember their names, but they give value. They give you good products. Similarly, I feel that certain industries, the brands kind of blend together. Uh, well, makeup might be one. Consumer products, other than the apples and Samsungs of the world, a lot of them have not been able to distinguish themselves because of their brand. In India, there are a lot of consumer product brands, but people are not loyal to them. There's no
Yeah.
loyalty at all.
Mm.
In fact, okay, this is one example, Nisha, you may really enjoy. India, everybody knows, is a value conscious market. Right? People are willing to pay a slight premium for the convenience, but not too much. Right? One of the reasons that Apple is not really going to get traction because it's costly, but other Android phones are. So we want high value in smaller packages at cheaper costs. One of the companies which probably will disrupt the Indian market and is not an Indian company is CMF, by the brand called Nothing. There's a brand called Nothing which manufactures very high end phones, etc. They're
Mhm.
competing against Samsungs and Apples and really good design philosophy. But they have launched a sub brand called CMF, Color Manufacturing something, features something like that. And this brand is coming to India, and they are going to bring their feature phones, the smartphones, which is made of plastic material, cheaper materials, but they have very, very innovative features. And they are going to beat a lot of Indian brands on value. So take what you want to take away from it. I'll talk about what I take away from it. It's not true that you cannot distinguish even in crowded market. It is just At some level, I feel a little bit of laziness and too much target fixation.
So, valid points, Anoop. So, what do you think could be a solution and also possible the best practice? Because the good news is that these challenges also present great opportunities. And what it means for the brand is that when they break free from the copycat syndrome, they can learn and start to build the differentiator, often in their products and services, which will set them apart from their competitors and also build or create lasting connections with their audience. So, what are a few things they can do? And first and foremost, what I always come back to is again being very clear about the brand's core value and what they are truly about, and which starts with an audit. An audit on so many levels. Of course, the product and the service audit, but also the founders audit or the founding teams audit. What are the core values of the company? What is their mission? Why what is the reason of their existence? What makes them unique? And all of these elements should be carefully thought about and put into the brand messaging. Again, that itself is a very big differentiator until and unless it's a very generic kind of business. And then the important thing is to keep on revisiting this origin story and keep on renewing the message all the time. I think this is one thing which is very, very important. And of course, the customer insights, the kind of interactions they have with their customers and the kind of feedback they receive from their customers and the entire loop, that entire chain of interaction, they have to be kind of really clued into it, keep their ears to the ground to be able to listen what is their audience talking, and what are they saying about about their particular brand. So what else would you like to add to this?
One of the things I feel is whenever a brand is started, when let's say you start a new business, I start a new business, right? There is the reason we start it is because we see some gap in the market. And we start, maybe it's opportunistic, like a lot of companies, IT companies in India really gained traction when the Y2K issue happened in late 1999, 2000, right? And that's how they got a lot of large orders from a lot of big companies in US, Europe, etc. And then they kind of expanded from there and diluted, right? So the value was, hey, we can solve this problem. We have the capability, capacity, and let's say educated but cheap enough labor to do this for you. Many a times what happens is you start a company, you start a business because there's an opportunity, and then the business expands, and nothing wrong in that, it should happen, but the same problem goes away. The opportunity got fulfilled, right? I mean, a lot of people have come in, and now you are expanding the markets, you're finding other opportunities, etc. So you're jumping from one opportunity to another and you're trying to fulfill that. What happens is you don't have a central reason for existence beyond exploiting opportunities with the manpower, with the resources that are available to you. Another way to look at it is, what is innovative about you? What is so unique about you? Why did you start this? Can you go back? Number one. Number two, what are you doing today? What are you fulfilling? It's not about how you are different from the competition. No, it's about what is the customer buying from you. Again, I keep talking about jobs to be done theory, where you focus on the need of the customer. A family car focuses on the need of the customer. A safe car also does the same thing, right? At some level, every sale is an emotional purchase, and somebody somewhere is justifying that purchase with logic. But what is the emotion you're tugging? Maybe you can state it, maybe you cannot state it. But then think of that. You are distinct from your competition, not because you as a company are doing 100 different things, but because the way you do it, the way you fulfill something for the customer is very unique. And the discovery of that uniqueness is what matters. Yes, industries tend to blend together over a period of time, but if you're unable to innovate, unable to create something new, then this problem kind of amplifies itself. But even small changes that you make helps. Domino's is a good example, right?
Hmm.
Pizza brand. But I think 10 years ago, they went out on the street and they asked people, what would you like us to change? And they listened and they made their pizza better. Rather than making it cheaper, making it more efficient, they introduced new flavors. So the ethos of a brand, right, is does not die just like that, just overnight. You have to continuously reinvent yourself, which is very difficult for big brands to do. For the smaller brand, it is very easy. You do not have to become an e-commerce player on one day and after 6 months say, you know what, we have become a software company. No, not necessary at all. You can still be an e-commerce player who caters to working women's daily clothing needs, for example, right? One way is to niche down, narrow what your focus is. Another way is to um, be a category friend, right? I mean, you can say women's clothing instead of everybody's clothing. You can be an exclusive brand saying that, premium clothing, premium type of certain style, etc. For example, the makeup brands, I feel at the lower end and the middle end, most of the makeup brands kind of blend together with each other.
Yes.
There's very little distinguishing factors. At the higher end, in fact, they are objects of desire. And I know a lot of premium makeup brands exist with ridiculously priced products that are very desirable. Right? And why do you think that is?
They offer a unique customer experience, Anoop. Right from their packaging to, the way a lipstick will be packaged, it feels like you're opening a box of jewelry or something like that. It's very beautiful. And the fact is their quality is far superior. So all the luxury makeup brands give you unparalleled quality. That is a fact. They deliver what they promise. It looks like they have put in a lot of thought about you. And the way they build their customer experience at every touch point, right from testing it to buying it to opening it to unboxing it, every touch point, it is so beautifully executed that it really makes you feel beautiful. And of course the quality is far far superior from the generic makeup brand. And that is the only true thing. That is why there is a reason why why there is a differentiator.
It's a very simple thing, isn't it? If you think about the analysis which we just did, every brand we spoke about, if you are customer centric, people understand what you are as a brand. Customer centricity matters. That's it. If you're a consumer brand, then give the consumer really good experience within the cost. For example, Amazon in India, although it's a late entrant into the e-commerce market in India, they probably are the winners of this
Yes,
race.
they are.
The race is not over yet. But Amazon is a better recognized brand because they focused on the customer experience, the delivery experience, the packaging experience, irrespective of where you live in India. The way the delivery people behave, the way you are communicated, the way the entire supply chain works in your favor is very customer centric.
That is true.
And they take care of any scams and other things that happen very very quickly, right? They don't harass you, whereas other companies kind of question you, right? So customer centricity matters. If you're an enterprise brand, on the other hand, too many stakeholders, too many value proposition, too many steps to follow. There is a vendor management system, there is a sourcing team and whatnot. I mean, it's a very complex structure. So in that case, what happens? I mean, do you really have to distinguish your brand? Yes, you still have to distinguish your brand, because if your proposal is similar to somebody else's proposal, then why am I looking at you? What do you stand for is has to be very very clear. Why are you different has to be very very clear.
Yeah.
You may both, let's say three competitors compete for one um, project by a large company. All three of you might be doing the same thing. After all, it's a single project, right? But you stand apart because of the way you do it, the pricing, the price points, the reputation in the market, etc.
So the entire value proposition and again the customer experience, I think that truly sets apart. So just another thought that I would like to kind of put out here before we wrap this conversation, Anoop, is that I think also very important to keep on monitoring and adjusting the central message or the brand message, which means that there should be a regular review of what else is happening. How is the competitor communicating with their audience, and also to ensure that we are not, you know, like we are very intentional about our brand message, and we are not just inadvertently mimicking them. We are not just copying them, and it's important to be very intentional with our approach. Also create a good model or systems, and especially for performance matrix, to keep on iterating and reiterating our messaging strategy. So these are a few action points or the tools by which a company can build a very consistent and very and authentic branding message, differentiate themselves from their competitors, but also measure how they are faring, how is their messaging faring with their audience.
I agree with you. Right? It's about customer centricity. It's about the message. It's about auditing. It's about listening. Right? Such
True.
a simple thing, but
Yes.
we don't do that enough of that.
No, I love the way you've simplified it. It's actually about listening. It's about being present. So, yes.
Great, we solved the problem.
So, how would you like to wrap this conversation, Anu?
I feel everything that we have discussed, right? Stop being fixated with your competitors and what they are doing. Your competitors are not the reason your business runs. You may or may not lose business if you don't have enough of a market. That's a completely different problem. Second, understand what you stand for in the market. Why do customers buy from you? Third, be very customer centric. If you want to differentiate from the perspective of the customer, not from the perspective of the competitor. Four, the way you communicate is not just what is written on your website or on your business card. It's also the experience at the end of the day. Like Nisha said, talked about this luxury makeup brands, right? The experience of unpacking something, unboxing something from this that is them is so unique. It's like a gift. It's a gift that's wrapped, and you have that experience at every step of the way, from the purchase till the delivery till to the usage. So yes, try to try to build the brand ethos in every step of the customer's journey rather than just on your website or what you say. It's not just about the talk, it's also about the walk. So you have to do what you say, and that's how the brands get distinguished. I hope I have captured the essence of what we spoke about today.
Absolutely, Anu. Thank you so much for that.
Fantastic episode, Nisha. Thank you so much.
And that is it for this episode. I'm Nisha Prakash. You can find me at LinkedIn and my website nishaprakash.com.
And I'm Anoop Kurup. You can find me at LinkedIn and my website, anoopkurup.com. We will see you in the next exciting episode of Click, Brand, and Beyond.